Welcome to another session with me. I am Zari, subliminal coach, ASMR artist, lactation and birth professional, and so much more. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to have you here for this segment of the subliminal before the subliminal. So happy to have you here. I just wanted to speak a little bit about the focus of this session. This is about being and behaving as though you are water, and you are water. There is a certain percentage, and it is a large percentage of us that's water. We are literally made out of water. Our brain is of water and everything. So that's why we have to drink so many bottles, a certain amount a day in order to, stay healthy, flush out toxins of our body, salt, and all that kind of stuff. We have to make sure that we drink enough water throughout the day. I typically tell my clients 4 to 8 bottles is really good. And I wanted to speak about, for this particular session, I have layered the video with a poem that I wrote called Daughter of the Waves. Now, if you want to experience this affirmation like poem in speaking mode, whereas I perform the poem as a spoken word poem or a slam poem, you can look at the video here on my channel. I will probably leave it in the card somewhere up here, or I will leave it in the description box below, and you can watch that instead of listening to the subliminal, which is this video. Of course, subliminals are when the volume is turned down, the volume of the affirmation itself is turned down, and the music or brown noise or other layered sounds are layered over that particular affirmation. But if you want to hear a spoken affirmation of that poem, you can. And I also implore you to purchase the actual book that the poem came from, which is called Beautiful Light Energy. That is a beautiful poetry chapbook that I wrote, and it is currently on Amazon. I would love for you to go get that. It's amazing. Anyway, I wanted to talk about water. Why it's so amazing and why you are water. Water is an amazing element. It really is, because when water is blocked, I remember this was in a movie, a quote by a character. I think it was called, I think the name of the movie was Memoirs of a Geisha, which I really did like. I really did like that movie. And she said that her mother said that she was just like water, because when water is blocked, it finds a new path. And that is so true. And when I wrote my Beautiful Light Energy book, poetry book, one of the first poems I wrote was Daughter of the Waves. It was about being water, being, in a sense, powerful because you are water. Having the strength to continue on, making a new path for yourself, unblocking, cleansing, and making a new way for yourself, rebirthing, in a sense. So water is powerful. It is a very powerful thing. And I remember this particular doctor, I can't think of his name. I'm going to have it on the screen, and I will, when I'm editing, it will be right here on the screen above my head somewhere, because I don't want to mess his name up. But he was a scientist, I think a scientist or a doctor, and he did this experiment with rice. Now, you know how much I love rice as an abundance symbol. And with this rice experiment, he put, I think he had at least 3 jars, and he titled them, I think the first one was love, the other one was nothing, and then another one was ugly. And every day he would speak horrible things to the ugly jar of rice. And the love jar, he would speak beautiful things into. He would say some of the most beautiful affirmations ever. And in the nothing jar, he just abandoned it. He didn't do anything to it. He didn't look at it. He did not pay attention to it. He acted as though he did not care for it. And so that was what he did. And he did that for at least a month, I believe. I think that's how the story went. After a month, he went and looked at each jar and noticed their condition. The nothing jar was horrible. Oh my God, it just was, the rice was mold. It just was blackened. It was disgusting. It did not look right. The ugly jar was just as bad. And it had like, it may have been even worse, I think. It just had so much mold on it. It just was in poor condition. But you could still, I think you could see just a little bit of the rice. But it was like, you could probably only see just a few white rice here and there, but the rest of it was just molded. It was just ugly. But the love rice jar was something different. The rice and the water in the love jar was beautiful. It was perfectly fermented and everything. It was amazing how well kept it was, and how it did not get any mold. And in his opinion, or by the, from the results of his experiment, by saying that water was powerful and that it held energy, this proved that our words that come out of our mouth are powerful. What we say is powerful, and water holds energy. Sweet dreams, butterfly, you are cherished. Sweet dreams.